Hey guys, welcome to the Accent Studio, to the Harbor. Today we will talk about remixes, how to get them, how to get paid, how to deal with the legal kind of stuff, because I myself now starting to work actually onto remixes. I will also take you through the production process, but that maybe in a later episode. So first let's maybe start with what remixes actually are, because there's a lot of confusion. You got covers, which is pretty simple. I think you cover someone else's song, melody and lyrics. Then there is an edit. For me, I mean, there are a lot of definitions, but for me it's taking someone else's entire song and using the entire file of the song, maybe cutting out here and there bits, but you're actually just working with that one file. These are usually not official. People just do them for fun, to make a version they can DJ. Sometimes these are getting so huge that they might get signed and officially released, but usually it's more like for DJing, making club versions out of it, just training your production and maybe get a little bit of attention by using a song by someone that is really famous. The classic remix is pretty simple. Another artist sends you his stems, maybe all of them, or just some of them, sometimes just the vocals, and it's something official. Someone else asks you to do a remix for them. That's usually the way it goes. 10-15 years ago, there was usually a budget involved by the label. So let's say there was a small young artist releasing his first original on Spinnin', for example. Then Spinnin' might think, okay, how can we promote this guy in an easy way? The easiest was letting other bigger artists that are part of the label or friends of the producer just make remixes, so that you kind of get those names also connected with that new fresh artist. It's an easy way of promotion. It also works the other way around. Less known people making remixes for huge artists in this way kind of get discovered and having a chance. It's the easiest way to collaborate without actually sitting together in the studio. You take parts of someone else's production and turn it into your own. I myself haven't done a remix in a long while. Not that not enough people ask me. It's actually way too much, but I rejected all of them because there are also some problems with remixes. Usually you have way less control because you do it for someone else, for another label. So the chance of getting paid is very, very, very slim. The advance that you used to get is like, no one does it anymore. You basically do the remix for free for promotion. And I'm already having trouble to release my 8 originals per year. So I usually try to step away from the remixes and first get my originals out there. Now that the studio is almost all done, yes, I know, the table's still missing, but we're getting there. I have a little bit more time and I want to focus back again more on music production, making more songs, having more releases. So far I got 4 tracks all done already and scheduled for this year. So I got a little bit of time to make remixes for other people. I, of course, immediately thought about making a remix for one of the artists on my own label. I went through the tracks and picked one that has nice vocals that I think I can make something out of. I will show you the track later within the DAW once I drag the stems in there. So yeah, it's basically a good promotional tool. It makes fun, you can learn something, and there are a lot of producers that are way better in making remixes because they're maybe not that musically trained. There are more technical producers, there are more club DJs actually. So for example, Disco, you might remember him a long time ago. He did stuff also for David Guetta at the very, very beginning. He made some huge hit remixes for Milo, for David Guetta and a couple of other big artists, but never actually made a huge original except maybe his very, very first one. Probably no one remembers that one. It's called Nobody Likes the Record that I play. Funny song, was played by every single DJ, but this was actually before I even started DJing, so 15 plus years ago. The next big question is of course how to actually land a remix for a big artist and this way advance with your music. The most common one is actually just to produce your own original music, make it as big as possible and have like a style that is recognizable, and people, because of that style, because they like it, because they play other songs of you, will ask you to do a remix for them. I'd say that is 90% of the industry. The rest is then personal contact. That's the shortcut. If you know a huge artist, just ask them if you're allowed to do a remix. They will very likely say yes, but you then have to make a remix that is good enough that they and also the label like it enough to put all of the work into it and release it. So if you're best friends with David Guetta, maybe you will get the possibility to remix his song. If you're a good friend with another producer that is on the same level, you can do like a remix swap. He's doing a remix for you, you are doing a remix for him. If you know a band, maybe offer them to do a club remix so that they have a club version that is being played in the club. Cold contacting labels or artists that you don't even know is extremely hard, especially if they're really big ones. They won't even answer. They already got enough friends surrounding them that are also huge, so they will ask them. Because again, it's a promotional tool. If you don't have a big fan base, they might not be interested. If you're a really good remixer, then maybe you can try and contact them via email, Facebook, Instagram, and have like a slight chance, but it's very unlikely, especially the bigger the artist actually is. So maybe try reaching out to artists that are like not huge, but like in the middle, kind of where they are closer to you and the chances are way higher. Doing an unofficial remix of someone and then sending it to them will also not really work in most cases. They might not listen to it. The label might not be interested. Sometimes there are legal issues. So for example, if the vocals belong to someone else, they have to go through the publishing, they have to go through the master rights, very complicated business kind of stuff. So the best way is just to make your originals good, wait for people to approach you, approach people you know, approach people that are close to you. Just ask for help, ask for the possibility to do a remix. Again, they will be fine with it because it's no risk on their end. They will just send you the stems and then wait for you to make something good. You should also do it really fast. That's important. I think 2 weeks to a month is the max you should be working on a remix. If it takes longer, they will lose interest. They have schedules. The remix EP might already be scheduled. Big labels, big artists usually ask 5, 6, 7 people, and at the end just take the best 3. I know this answer might not be that satisfying. You might have been looking for a shortcut, but let me assure you there is unfortunately none. Just try to work your way up, try to approach people that are closer to you, and this way kind of get into this remix game. So the next big question is actually how to get paid and how much you could get paid. Again, the advances, not really common anymore. It was 500 euros plus for at least underground music. Nowadays, they might offer you something if they ask you to remix it. You could negotiate, but in most cases, you won't get an advance. You might get a split. That's at least what I'm doing on my label. Every artist that is making a remix gets, for that remix, just the remix, half. So the original artist gets half, the remixer gets half. I think that's the fairest way to deal with it. Because I mean, the original artist still made the melody and like the main parts of it and recorded the vocals. And the remixer is not making an original. It's way less work, it's way faster, it's way easier. So I think like a 50-50 split between those two is the best way to actually do it. I mean, if you ever get asked to do a remix, you could ask them to give you a split. Then again, getting the money from the label is a whole nother story. So in most cases, just think of making the remix as a promotional tool. Keeping that in mind will definitely help you to decide if you actually want to take the remix. It should definitely be a remix where you like the original, you have a good idea, you can turn it into your style somehow, and also keep the promotional part in mind. Is it a label, is it an artist that will actually benefit you? Because at the end, as much fun as music actually is, you still have to think about like the financial kind of stuff and how to advance with your kind of career. So don't forget it. As much fun as it is making music, always keep that in the back of your mind. But now let's actually fire up Logic and start dragging in the parts. In this case, it's just one file actually, or two. So of course, starting an entirely new Logic project, I got the files as a download link. The song is called On and Off. It's by Alex Rome featuring Nicole Panic. I got here ad-libs, the main vocal, and some vocal double stems. I only requested the vocals because I won't be, in most cases, use anything else than the vocal. If I do a remix for someone that doesn't have vocals on the song, I actually make sure that there's at least like one main element that is very catchy and I can kind of work with. Creating new tracks. Let's check out what we got here. You don't want me at all. I won't give up on this on and off love. So what I like to do first is usually normalize the vocals to get them up to loudness without compressing them or limiting them. And then I actually also like to drag in the original song just to have it as a reference in case I get lost. I don't know which part actually is. I mean, here in this case, again, it's not a lot. Sometimes you get remixes with all of the stems, and then it's like 20 tracks, and the first thing I then actually do is go through all of them and delete half of it, at least the ones that I'm just not interested in. I don't need the kick of someone else or the bass of someone else. Also, most drum loops are not really interesting for me. Then finding out the tempo, which is quite easy in Logic. You just go to the metering and the BPM counter, put it on top of the original song, let it play for a couple of seconds. This one is at 110. I already know for sure that I will speed it up by at least 6 BPM to make it a little bit more clubby, but I will actually have to check. And then the next step, and this will take now the longest, is actually playing around with the stems, with the vocals, and just trying to figure out into which direction I want to go. Maybe play around with some special effects and trying to do some glitchy stuff, maybe looping certain parts of the vocals. Just making sure that in my head I have like the general direction already all clear, that I then just go about trying to reach that with producing it. So this might actually take maybe 2-3 hours. It's more like an inspirational thing, maybe writing down ideas, maybe already starting doing things and trying it out. And once I'm done with the brainstorming kind of phase, I usually start then with the drums first. But that's actually something for tomorrow's episode. If you have any more questions left about how to get a remix, how remixes are done, how to deal with them, just let me know about that in the comments. Tomorrow we will continue with the production of this remix. I will try to every day, step by step, show you how I advance on this song. This time, since it's on my label, I got the rights and I can actually share the working process with you. This wasn't possible with all of the other remixes. That's also one of the downsides. If you make a remix for someone else, all of the rights are theirs, so you can't put it on SoundCloud or anything like that. Another way would be just to participate in remix contests. As you know, we did a couple of months ago the remix contest for my Stay song. There's another one upcoming this year. I still don't know which song. You will probably be able to vote, so definitely stay tuned. Remix contests are usually fun, a great way to get stems, to work with them, with vocals, especially if you're a beginner, and also a great chance to get some prizes and also maybe a release. So yeah, see you tomorrow, continuing on this remix.